It has been said that in Twilight Struggle, you need to know the cards well in order to play well. Well, we're going to take you through every card one by one, and we're going to help you become a master at Twilight Struggle. This is Legendary Tactics. The United Nations is represented here with the UN intervention card. It's nice to have in hand as it can certainly get you out of a jam, but it has its downsides too. Let's take a look at this one closely. UN Intervention is an early war, one-up neutral event card. A player can play UN Intervention along with a card that contains an opponent's associated event. That event is then cancelled, but you can use the operations value of the cancelled event card to conduct operations. The cancelled event card returns to the discard pile and does not leave the game if it is a starred event. This event cannot be played during the headline phase. It's good to note that the UN intervention card cannot be played along with one of your own events or a neutral event card. If that's all you have in hand, the UN intervention card cannot be played. This is important with regard to the We Will Bury You USSR event. This event, for either player, is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it's nice to cancel an opponent's harmful event, but it comes at a cost. One part of that cost is a reduced hand size, which might mean that you can't hold a card over to the next turn. The other part of that cost is that neutralizing a starred event card with the UN intervention event means that it does not leave the game as it normally would, so it can come back to bite you later. It's a pay now or pay later kind of thing, and as painful as it is, sometimes it is better to pay now and get it out of the way instead of having it turn up in your opponent's hand unexpectedly. It's arguably better to send a bad opponent event to the space race, where it can contribute to other potential benefits, like victory points or being able to see an opponent's headline before you choose yours. But UN intervention does give you flexibility. It's obviously better to play this card with higher ops event cards, but you can also use it to neutralize dangerous enemy one-op events that cannot be sent to space. And it's obviously better to play this card with unstarred enemy event cards, but you can also use it to neutralize nasty starred event cards if you really can't live with their effects. And it's obviously better to use this card to cancel a DEFCON suicide event card and get out of a jam, especially as some of those cards are low ops and can't be sent to the space race. UN intervention has two main interactions, both in the mid-war and both with Soviet events, and both require the UN intervention card being in someone's hand that same turn, which, in my experience, is rarely the case. The first one is with the U2 incident card. If this event is triggered, it gives the USSR 1 victory point. If the UN intervention event card is played by either player later on that turn for the event, the USSR gains 1 extra victory point. This card is generally pretty easy to work around for the US player. Simply play UN intervention before playing the U2 incident card, or hold either until next turn. This interaction is good for the Soviet player, who will certainly play UN intervention after the U2 event, as it offers an extra benefit in addition to canceling an American event card. The other interaction is with We Will Bury You. It demands that the US player plays the UN intervention card for the event the next action round, or give the USSR 3 victory points. Obviously, the US should play UN intervention after this card event comes out, but that requires UN intervention to be in hand. One doesn't even have time to draw it up using the SALT negotiations event card, so there's really nothing you can do about it. This is a card that you can carry over for a couple of turns just in case a really bad event turns up in your hand that you would want to cancel. But it does limit you in that other cards cannot be held instead. And it only cancels 1 card, so it won't do much if you get a mitt full of bad events. So only do this if it makes sense with the board state and the cards you have. This has been our analysis of the UN intervention card in Twilight Struggle. We hope you got some good value out of this video and might want to check out the rest in the series. Please like and subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you next time. This is NATO with Legendary Tactics.